For over 2 years, video journalist Mohammed Abu Safia has filmed the war in Gaza for ITV News, the destruction and the loss. Separated from his family, he's put his life on the line to show the world what's happened to his home. Now he's going to tell us what that has taken.
I have filmed so many stories of soul survivors, and I'm a soul survivor as well. I live without my family. Every story I film, I feel that it reflects me. It reflects my story as well.
And what life is now like under the most fragile of ceasefires.
People can't go out. We live in big prison. When I think of leaving Gaza, I just think of so many other people who actually need to leave Gaza to get medical treatment. So this makes me feel guilty.
I'm Lucy Watson, and this is What You Need to Know. Well, I'm so happy to say that Mohammed joins me now from Gaza, along with our senior international correspondent, John Irvine, who is in Tel Aviv. Now, for the last 2 years, John's reports on Gaza have relied upon Mohammed's filming. Now, Mohammed, I can see the blue canvas behind you. Just explain to us where you are right now, what you can see outside.
I am now in Deir al-Balah in Al-Aqsa Hospital. In this tent, in this very tent, most journalists work here, and they come here to get the internet connection. This blue piece of cloth is a tent that doesn't really protect us from anything. It just gives us some privacy. Sometimes we call it home, but the situation now in winter is really difficult. 2 days ago, because of the storm, this tent was uprooted and we had to go somewhere, some other place. Basically, we just get here some electricity and some internet, but people in their tents, they don't have that. Now, this very moment, they are drowned in their tents, which don't really protect them from anything. It's really tragic situation, and even when I use my camera to film this, it doesn't really reflect how difficult the situation is.
So it's so difficult to describe for you, Mohammed, because it's so awful what you've been living through and how you've had to live for the past few years. Who was Mohammed before October the 7th? What was your life like before this all happened? Just tell us a little bit about it.
بحب حياتي كثير قبل 7 أكتوبر قبل ما الحرب هاي تيجي.
My life before the 7th of October was very beautiful. I loved my life before the war. I used to play sport, go to the beach. My life was full of laughter, family gatherings. If I miss my mom, I would drive my car or my bicycle and go there. When I don't feel well, I would just ride my bicycle throughout Gaza Strip. I would see the clean and tidy streets everywhere. I would drink my coffee, talk to people. Everything is lost now. Before the war, when my son is tired or ill, I would be with him. I would be beside him. Now, when I am tired or ill, no one around me, just my colleagues, and that's good, but it's nothing like family when they are around you. Gaza was really beautiful, but now it's fully destroyed. It's destroyed to the level that the picture doesn't reflect our feeling. It doesn't reflect what people see every day. It doesn't reflect our memories that was demolished beneath these rubble. Gaza, it's a place where you would love the people, you would love the fruit, you would love the orange and the strawberries there. It's used to described as the red gold. This is how the farmers used to describe their farmlands. I used to love Gaza. I still love Gaza, but it's very difficult for me to see it like this.
And Mohammed, I mean, I should have probably started the podcast with an enormous thank you for what you have done for ITV News and for our viewers, because despite what you've been living through and what you've witnessed for the past 2 years and more, you have rushed to the scene of airstrikes to be able to film for ITV News and for the world, and you have fled and run away from gunfire for us. Why have you done that? How have you been able to do that, Mohammed?
خليني أحكي لك شيء يعني بصراحة أنا صحفي.
First of all, I'm a journalist and I live in a war zone. I thought that if I leave Gaza and all other journalists leave Gaza as well, this would be very wrong. ITV put their trust in me and I don't want to let them down. I always feel that there is something that I can do and it's something that I need to do for this country. In 2014, there was that war that lasted 51 days. I thought that this would be the longest war I would live. I survived that war and I covered so many stories. Some of them were good stories, other were very tragic stories. But I decided to stay, to do my job, and to be able to feed my family. On the second day of the war, on the 8th of October, I survived an intense shelling. That shelling that actually destroyed a whole neighborhood where we lived, and that was on the 8th of October. Before that attack, I asked my family that we need to flee, and they didn't want to. So all of us survived that attack. And since that, I have been thinking that if I survived that attack, then I will not die easily. I can live through anything. Eventually, I just think that I stayed for my country, and to do my task and to cover what's going on in Gaza.
Now, Johnny, of course, Mohammed has been in Gaza throughout this whole war. You have been in rarely, and since the ceasefire, only when accompanied by the IDF. Just how vital has Mohammed's work, his filming, been to your job and reporting on this conflict?
Lucy, before I answer that, a quick anecdote. In April last year, Iran made history by sending drones and missiles towards Israel for the first time. Now, while they were in the air, our producer here in Tel Aviv, Yara, got a phone call from a concerned friend. He wanted to make sure that Yara and her colleagues, myself and cameraman Sean Swan, were fine. He was very worried about this Iranian attack. Now, that concerned friend was Mohammed. He was sitting in the rubble of Gaza, and he was worried about his friends in Tel Aviv. That's the mark of the man. To come back to your question, he has been the eyes and ears of ITV News for 2 years. He is working under the most trying of circumstances, the sort of mental and physical pressure that none of the rest of us can really imagine. I say physical pressure because of the danger. If you look at the statistics, the figures regarding journalistic deaths in Gaza are absolutely appalling. Often Mohammed doesn't know where he's going to spend the night. He doesn't know where he's going to get his next meal. He doesn't know where he's going to find electricity to charge the batteries to put in his camera. He doesn't know where he's going to find an internet feed to send to us. All the time, he's trying just to survive. And yet, he has been consistently brilliant. His pictures are by far and away the best pictures coming out of the Gaza Strip and have been for 2 years. Don't take my word for it, Lucy. In March, the Royal Television Society voted Mohammed Abu Safia Camera Operator of the Year. There are numerous times that we have relied on him. What he has sent us has become a lead story on News at 10 quite often simply because of the quality of his work. I can't speak highly enough.
I mean, Mohammed, there aren't really words to explain how grateful we are to you for everything that you have done. But you did mention your family. They did get out of Gaza. I think it was around 5 months after the war started. And they are in Egypt, and I got to meet them, and they are absolutely wonderful. Your children are just delightful. What has day-to-day life been without them?
حياتي بعيد عن عائلتي كثير صعب.
To simply say it, it's very, very difficult. But just to give you something to reflect how difficult this is, when you visited my family and when other friends also visit my family, they share the pictures with me. I was really surprised to see you with my family. Thank you so much for this. I could see how happy they were, and I was very happy for that. But every time I see these pictures or I talk to them, I try to show them a happy face. But when I turn off the phone, I just go and cry. I don't like anyone to see me crying, but because of this life without children, it's really difficult. This the only thing that makes me cry. Another situation when my wife was telling me on the phone that she needs to go to buy some things for Yusuf. I asked her, who's Yusuf? I actually forgot that I had a newborn baby named Yusuf. I didn't attend his first birthday, and I wasn't there when he was born. I haven't seen him yet. Also, my colleague Yara asked me once how old Yusuf is. How old is Yusuf? And I asked her also, who's Yusuf? I see my children in every child I see. Once I was filming and a little girl, and she fell, and I stopped filming and I tried to save her to a safer place. I just, for a moment, I thought that she was my daughter. What makes me really sad that Yusuf doesn't know me, and he doesn't know anything about me, and I don't know him as well. I have filmed so many stories of soul survivors, and I'm a soul survivor as well. I live without my family. Every story I film, I feel that it reflects me. It reflects my story as well. I try to have a smile on my face all the time and to give optimism to people. And this is what they tell me, that my smile helps them and it lets them feel better. But being away from my family makes me very sad. The most sad thing is that when I talk to my children and I promise them something for being for behaving well or for doing their homework, I promise them, for example, that I would send them something. They would tell me, "No, we don't need anything. We want you." That's Julia and Ahmed. And I just promise them, hopefully, I will be with you someday. And after I finished the call, I just cry and I try to sleep hardly. I try to sleep. Sometimes I take some pills to be able to sleep, to get some sleep and to maintain my well-being. But there is nothing like being with your family, and there is nothing more difficult than being away from your family.
I wish I could just bring you back together right now, Mohammed. You are a survivor, as you said, but you have witnessed unimaginable horror, and unlike most war reporters, it's the home you're filming. This is where you live. These are your people. I'm going to play a clip from one of John's reports that he did in August when you filmed the aftermath of an Israeli airstrike, and that was on a house in Gaza City. And you filmed as a young woman, Saja, was buried alive, but she was actually rescued from that rubble, and you were right there.
They find Saja's phone, and she says she wants to speak to her mother. Our cameraman tries to reassure her. I'm a neighbour, everyone is fine, he says. Don't worry about speaking to anyone else at the moment. You need to be thinking how you will get out of there and how you will help these men get you out. I've brought you a blanket. Don't be scared.
Mohammed, when you have been in situations like that, there is a young woman right in front of you, buried in rubble, and you are holding your camera, yet you're also talking to her and reassuring her. How hard is it to carry on doing your job when human instinct is to want to help? Have you at times wanted to just put that camera down?
صراحة يعني يوم سجى نازل من مدينة الزهراء.
Comes from a Zahra neighborhood, and she fled to this place because she thought that it was a safe place. And I actually made the same decision. This is why I was living in this very area. It's only about 10 meters between my place and where she was bombed. It was at night after 1 a.m. When we heard a big explosion and the windows and the doors shattered. So I always have this conflict. I feel I am this despicable person because I'm filming sometimes, and then I say, no, I am a journalist. And then I ask myself, am I a medic? So what I try to do is I try to find something in between that I would keep filming, but yet I would give steady and calm instructions to try to comfort people. Saja's eyes were full of fear, full of horror. I keep getting back to them just to make sure that how they are. And currently, she can't go outside Gaza to get medical treatment, although she has a Egyptian citizenship. She can't leave Gaza, just like so many other people who need to go outside Gaza to get medical treatment and medical care, but they can't go out. Every time I remember Saja, I just can't forget the terror and the horror that I saw in her eyes when she was under rubble.
You must have just gone through so many emotions on every single day, Mohammed. And John, you are so used to working side by side with your cameraman, and you have worked with Mohammed before, you have met each other. How different an experience has it been working with him in this way?
Well, it's very difficult, but yes, I met Mohammed. Sean and I met Mohammed after a brief war that lasted a few weeks back in 2021. Mohammed was brilliant. We went in the immediate aftermath when there was a ceasefire. Mohammed knew everybody. He had incredible energy. And he's just a brilliant photojournalist and a brilliant human being. You've played that piece when we listened to the concern he had for that young woman, Sajja, buried under the rubble of her house. You know, he showed incredible humanity, and yet he showed incredible professionalism recording the pictures. But he has done that time and time again. I remember when one of the hospitals in the south of Gaza had to be evacuated because of Israeli airstrikes. And Mohammed films this young man, this young patient, and he's being pushed out of the door of the hospital. And he immediately looks up and he can see and hear an Israeli drone, and he's terrified. And Mohammed, while he's filming this rather chaotic scene, keeps on reassuring the young patient, telling him that everything will be okay and that when the bombs land, they won't land on them. And seconds later, the bombs do land just a few hundred meters away. So, you know, as I say, time and time again, he shows a great humanity to his subjects. And remember, he is filming them at one of the most testing moments in their lives. And he is just a wonderful human being. He shows great professionalism as a photojournalist, but great humanity as just a human being.
I'm going to play a clip of another one of John and Mohammed's reports now. And this is from January 2024. And Mohammed was filming on the edge of an area previously declared safe, an area which Israeli forces were trying to capture. Now, he interviewed a group of men in the street holding a white flag. And as they tried to proceed to get their families out of harm's way, this is what happened.
The interview complete, our cameraman walked away. And then this happened. The interviewee had been shot and fatally wounded. You can see them place their flag on his chest. As he was carried away, the white flag was turning red.
Well, that man who was killed was Ramzi Abu Salul, and his death sparked accusations of a war crime, which the IDF initially dismissed, claiming that the footage had been edited. ITV News then used satellite imagery, geolocation, and expert ballistics analysis to verify it. And the IDF later said they were, in fact, investigating. Say they did not fire at civilians, but added there are mistakes. It is war. Did we ever hear anything of the investigation of the IDF into that?
No, actually, we didn't. They said they were investigating, and they often say that, and then there's no real follow-up. And, you know, in fairness to IDF investigators, without an admission of guilt from a soldier or a whistleblower from one of his unit, they aren't going to be able to prove who killed Ramzi Abu Salul. But I can tell you that actually ITV News carried out an investigation themselves. We got acoustic experts to listen to two separate recordings of that incident. There were two cameramen, effectively, and they got the footage from the two cameras and were able to determine the time the bullets passed both of those cameras. The cameramen were in different positions, and the acoustics experts were able to determine that the gunfire actually came from the vicinity of the IDF unit that Mr. Abu Salul was appealing to when he was shot dead. He and others were trying to cross a front line to rescue some relatives who'd got trapped. But Mohammed's conduct on that day is also remarkable. When every fibre in his being must have been yelling at him to run away, he stood his ground and he filmed it. And Lucy, after the fatal burst of gunfire, there are several more bursts of gunfire Mohammed stays in there. He keeps on filming, and he keeps on encouraging the men, and in fact, one of the sons of Mr. Abu Sulul, as they try to carry the dead man away from the danger zone. So again, a remarkable piece of filming and humanity from Mohammed.
Now, Mohammed, what impact do you think witnessing trauma of this level so close to you, right in front of your eyes, what do you think the effect has been on you over the last 2 years?
يمكن تأثيره ما اقدرش انا اوصفه، بس الناس اللي حوالي بتوصفه بتصرفاته.
After Abu Sahlul was killed, I visited his family and they spoke to me. And then after I left, my friend told me that they thought that what happened to their father was because of me. Of course, I wasn't the reason for that. But people are in shock. They don't know that if I wasn't there, he still was going to be killed. But this wouldn't be documented. So many situations like this affect me. But Yara, my colleague from ITV News, she was the most supporter to me. She would guide me, and sometimes she would yell on me, and but other times she was a very good listener. So maybe you should ask her, because she knew me before this war and she knew me through it. I can't really describe how do I feel. But it's really difficult.
Mohammed, throughout our conversation today, I have been able to hear voices outside your tent, and it makes it all seem very, very real, hearing what's going on around you. What hopes do you have? When are you going to be able to see your family again? What do you think is going to happen to Gaza? What hope do you have looking towards the future?
بعرفش انه الوضع بيديني الحق اطلع على المستقبل.
I just don't know if I can actually talk about future. Our future is something in the hands of the Americans, the IDF. Take the crossing for an example, that the crossings now are closed and people can't go out. We live in big prison. Sometimes I hope that I can fly and be able to move freely, to go out. I hope that we can be seen as human beings. When I think of leaving Gaza, I just think of so many other people who actually need to leave Gaza to get medical treatment. So this makes me feel guilty that I think of myself first. We are seeing death every day, and we can't really think of any future. Even during these ceasefire, we are being killed. I hope that we would live in peace, live freely. We would be able just normally to eat, to drink. I would hope to see my family, to see my parents, to see my siblings. I don't know anything about the future. We don't have this liberty to decide our future. I hope that someday we will get to that.
And John, we are speaking now 6 weeks after the ceasefire came into effect. It is still in place, despite strikes and deaths continuing. As we speak right now, where does that deal stand as far as you can see?
Well, phase one is almost complete. There are only 2 hostage bodies left in Gaza still to be returned. and there is no sign of phase 2 being implemented. So the process is somewhat stalemated, and that's dangerous because peace processes need momentum. If they don't move forward, they're always in danger of sliding backwards. Yes, the United Nations Security Council has provided a mandate for an international peacekeeping force, but we've no idea which countries are going to contribute troops to that force. We've no idea what their mission will be, how long it will last, and where exactly in Gaza they will be deployed. Because as you know, Gaza has been cut in half, with the IDF occupying the eastern half and 2 million Palestinians occupying the Hamas-controlled half. Since the ceasefire, Hamas have reasserted themselves, sometimes in a very cruel and ruthless way, carrying out public floggings and executions, but effectively they are now back in control, and neither side really wants to commit to their second phase obligations, which would be disarmament by Hamas and more withdrawal of Israeli troops out of Gaza. It's up to the Americans to, firm up this plan. It is Trump's 20-point peace plan, but right now it's stuck, and that's a dangerous place to be.
Mohammed, thank you for talking to us and for everything that you have done for us. And John, thank you to you too. We will, of course, put links to their reports in the show notes, and you can find all our analysis at itv.com/news and on our YouTube channel. Until our next quick briefing, thank you for joining us.